Okay, good morning everyone. As you have seen previously, my most recent project was designing a couple of F-14s in Blender. This was a modeling practice for modeling with curves. That's actually what I'm doing here right now, is I'm taking a bunch of curves and then adjusting how they act over a certain distance to try and get the model of this plane. Since planes are very curvy, so I thought a great practice to work with curves would be modeling a plane, and I like F-14s, they're cool, they're classic, they're very snazzy. Here I use a bunch of loop modifiers to make the wings, just, adjusting it as we go. And then for the air intakes, I'll take a rectangle and just kind of stretch it out across its length to put together the air intakes here. So everything here is modeled using curves and smooth faces, and then just a little bit of rectangles with bevels for these air intakes in the wings. Once I have the planes themselves modeled, I decided it'd be cool to put them in an environment, so I modeled up this large, rocky, mountainous lake area, which is something I've never done before. This is my first time ever using the sculpting tools in Blender, so I could create this kind of terrain that looks realistic, and then I added in some water using some modifiers here so that it actually looks like a lake in the center. And this whole process was such a pain in the butt because I had no idea what I was doing, and my Blender crashed a couple times. I'd not really done texture painting before, so this was new and different and weird, and not everything worked out how I thought it was going to. But eventually I was able to get some greenery around the edges of the lake and make the water look like water, and then place the airplanes in, and everything started to work out. So I decided I'd work on the shading for the water, which it's a so-so shader. It uses a displacement map with a bunch of reflections on it, so it kind of looks like water, but it's not really high poly enough for what I wanted to do. Then I decided I'd use an HDRI, that's the background texture, a high definition rendered image for the background. And I thought the sunset looked nice, but later I decided to change it over to be just an ocean kind of sun. Here I model a little bit more and do the compositing. So compositing is when, after the image is rendered, you can add it through glare, noise, lens distortion. So I just add a little bit of lens distortion and a little bit of time map stretching, just so that it looks like it's going faster, kind of a motion blur style image. And then lastly, I ditched the entire landscape and thought I'd try and recreate a scene kind of like what was in Top Gun, the first one, where they were upside down, just with two F-14s instead of an F-14 and a MiG. And once I got all the layouts, I thought they looked pretty nice. So there's my F-14 models.